What's up, my fellow YouTubers? So today I figured I'd talk about a game that I both love and hate at the same time, Starfield. And my experience with it. Now, this is just me. Back in 2023, I remember it coming out, and I remember I could not play it on the cloud because it was so, advanced. So I remember having to upgrade to an Xbox Series S and doing all this overtime just to get it. And I remember the excitement of it. I remember, finally, I did the overtime. Finally, I go into, Walmart. I get the Xbox Series S. I can play it now. I downloaded it. I start playing it without interruptions. And I remember the excitement. I put a good 80 hours in, so I'm not totally bashing the game. I had a lot of fun with the quests. I had a lot of fun, I can't make it past that ship, getting on the ship with Sarah, and finally I get past that one little hurdle that I wasn't able to before, maybe 2 hours before. Now I can start exploring planets. Now I can, collect the fauna and flora, whatever the fuck, and just like every other Bethesda game, like Fallout 4 or whatever, I go on these quests, I do the quests, I see the little marker on there, I complete the quest, and then it's like, wow, I'm actually going somewhere here. I do remember being over encumbered a lot because there's so much stuff, and then getting the perks, saving up to buy a ship. I think the carry-all was my favorite, and I finally am able to, carry all the stuff within the ship. Finally I'm able to do this. Finally I'm able to walk around without, being over encumbered, whatever. And one thing I got stuck on was trying to find there was a mission, I think the temple, and every time I would get near it, it would fuzz out, and I was like, what am I doing here? And finally, way later on, I was able to find out, how to find it, how to get the power-ups to the temple. And then I was like, I got Andrija. I don't know how you say her name right, whatever. I really liked her. I wanted to, be with Andrija. Couldn't get rid of Sarah. Couldn't get rid of, and of all the perks I picked, it was the annoying fan. And every time the ship would go up, he'd go, wee, and I'd be like, okay, after the 1,000th time, this is ridiculous, and then I would, go into a cave, and there'd be somebody guarding the cave. Hey, don't go in the cave. Okay, you'd shoot him, whatever, shoot her, whatever. And then, go in the cave, get the loot, and then there'd be a ship way out there, and you'd try to, hijack the ship, but before you could even get to it, it would take off. And then you would actually finally hijack the ship and finally go on, only to find out that you didn't have a good enough class to actually own the ship, and to get the class you'd have to do other stuff. And then later on, oh hey, if you do this, if you go into some kind of academy, you level up quicker so that you can get the class that you need to hijack that ship. Fine, okay. And then I started getting these bugs, which is one of the ones that was really pissed me off was I had to get a makeover in order to fire my gun again. And then it was I forgot what else, but it was I would be in the middle of trying to train, the virtual training to get my class that I needed to finally hijack whatever ship I wanted, and it would just crash to the front of the screen, crash to the home screen, and I lose all my progress. Okay, whatever, not a big deal. And then I do it again, and then there was one mission, and to this day, I think that was the mission that just said, that was what broke me. That's it. It was some kind of time traveling mission where you go back and forth when you go into the other dimension, you go into the other part of the factory, and then you try to get out, and I could never get out of it. And I was like, this is it. Now this is 2023. That was when I said, that's it. I'm done with this game. I installed it. I had my fun with it, but I could not bring myself to reinstall it and play it again. And now this is just me. And what I'm seeing now in the Starfield group, now that the PlayStation people have it, is they're going through the same thing, right? They're like I was, hey, I just got this game, it's really exciting. Can't wait to play it, can't wait to try it, any tips, any tricks, whatever. And I'll throw my 2 cents in. Yeah, get this perk, get that perk, whatever. Don't save too much, whatever, you know what I mean? And then sometime later on, they'll come on and say, wow, I spent all these hours like playing this, and now I can't play it. Then people would say, delete the last save, which I've done. Okay, I had too many saves, it couldn't power up, whatever. And then there's people that played hundreds of hours, if not thousands, and they lose all their progress. And you still have the White Knights coming in going, that's okay, just start over. Like it's the easiest thing in the world. You spend that much time, because I know how it hurts. I've literally broke my Dreamcast playing Phantasy Star Online 2 offline, because back then I did not have online. I had a cheap modem. This is like the year 2001. The point is, I spent thousands of hours only to break my Dreamcast. I could have gotten a new Dreamcast. I think I did. But then you're starting over, and you have to do everything all over again and find every rare item all over again. To each his own. Some people can, but I just couldn't. Same with Starfield. If I put all that time into it only to find that my game crashed and there was no way of repairing it ever again, that would be it for me. I'm done. The point is, I'm seeing these like a cycle. New people coming on, really enjoying the game. Then those people get really discouraged, and then you get the White Knights that no matter how much the game is repetitive, or the game, no matter how many bugs the game gets, they're always right there to defend it, and they come rushing in, hey, do this, do that, And then the same people that liked it, just like me, they come on saying, this game sucks, And I'm not totally bashing it. I guess, I uninstalled it in 2023, couldn't reinstall it, couldn't bring myself to do it. Not only that, Andreja hated me for no reason because I get stuck with Sam Coe, couldn't get rid of him. By the time he died, I was glad. And then it was like he had a clone. Spoiler alert, whatever. And I was like, he has a clone. The one dude that I wanted to get rid of has a friggin' clone, and Andreja, the only character that I like, doesn't talk to me for no reason, and I can't get her to talk to me again. And I was like, this game sucks. And I get asked time and time again, you hate the game, but you spent 3 years in this group bashing it, bashing the game. Why do you do it? And my answer is, I put my time in. I didn't just play the game for 2 hours and say this game sucks. I played it for probably close to 80 hours. I've explored a lot, and I mean a lot of planets. I hijacked a lot of ships. I did a lot of missions. I ended up with just about every character. The main story before all the add-ons, and I don't even know about the add-ons. I've heard mixed reviews about it. I've put in my time enough to have a solid opinion on it, and I want to see how long it takes other people to reach the breaking point that I have, where enough's enough. I'm uninstalling this game. I am not playing it again. And that's why I stick around in the groups. And let me know in the comments, what is your experience with Starfield? Do you still play it? Do you still enjoy exploring planets? Or have you reached a point where, wow, I put all this time in only to find out that I update it and there's a new bug that says I cannot play it ever again? I lost all my progress. And it hurts when you do that, when that happens. Or he's still hardcore, hey, I start over, whatever, that's fine. And I'm still curious about some of the add-ons, I'm not going to lie, some of the mods. But again, I've actually heard people say, don't use the mods if you want it to run. So I guess, you go back to the original beginning anyways. What's the purpose of having mods if they ruin the game so much that you absolutely can't play it, So let me know in the comments what you think of Starfield and why. Peace out, my fellow YouTubers.